Good evening, everyone. This is Cricket Lot on Monday, January the 9th, 2023. Woohoo! And tonight we have Linda Stewart, who's going to talk to us about a new product by LifeWave. Well, I guess it's not new. It's been around for a little while, but she's going to explain what it does and how it works and all that kind of stuff. So let me see here if I can find how to mute everybody. I'm just gonna.
You have to unmute.
You're on, Linda.
Yes. Can you
Go.
hear me? Okay,
Yes.
great. Welcome, everyone. As we went around the room, I think I know almost every single one of you. There might be one or two of you that are new to me. And my name is Linda Stewart. And as most of you here, I've been a member for over 20 years. I was brought into this by Hiawatha and Cricket 22 years ago. When I went to the Creative Health Institute and met Hiawatha for the first time, I had a husband that had cancer and was given 6 months to live. And after 2 weeks of her teaching me everything in the kitchen, plus having to go through the entire 2-week program, we spent 7 months doing everything that she taught us. And my husband was completely cured in 7 months. So I understand for all of us, nutrition is one of the most important things in our lives. And I think because we're so into raw foods, different areas of that aspect, nutrition, keeping ourselves healthy, we take it very seriously. And do I see Moselle there? No, someone else. Okay. Julie. Anyway, I take this very serious, and I come here so that I can learn from Cricket, from our past Hiawatha, from each of you each month. I am grateful that Cricket does this for us. And what I'm hoping to do is just share in a few minutes something that has totally affected my life and has dramatically improved my health. And I think all of us are always trying to stay on that leading edge and trying to stay, what can help us now? What can enhance where our life is right now? And so today I am grateful to have the opportunity. Hi, Deborah, to share something. Hi, how are you?
Good. I kept thinking, should I get on earlier? And then I'm like, I couldn't
You're
remember if
perfect.
it was 6:30 or 7. So
You
I'm
are
here.
perfect. You're always perfect. You are perfect. If I may, as Cricket had shared, I'm going to share something about a company called LifeWave. But more importantly, I would like to just take a moment to have you ask yourself, not only what has nutrition done for us, what has Young Living done for us, what has Raw Foods done for us, and how is our life today? And is there anything in our health, whether it be emotional, physical, psychological, that we could say we are so grateful for and we are so happy with that level? Or is there anything that you can think of that might be something that you would love to have helped? For me, 7 years ago, I became extremely ill. And I started having symptoms of severe tremors. They call that minor tremor illness, but it developed into what they wanted to diagnose me with was Parkinson's. And all of you do not know that. I never shared that with anyone. I do know those of you that knew me closely, and Joelle and Cricket, saw a woman that was pretty much housebound. I could not walk. I seldom could talk. I would repeat questions. I couldn't remember what you told me. I was in severe PTSD and anxiety because of the tremors. I had to walk along a wall. I couldn't hold my keys. I couldn't get in my car. And life was extremely difficult. And I actually reached a point where everything that I had done, I spent tens of thousands of dollars trying to get better. I spent $5,000 at the Amen Clinic. They're very famous for doing nuclear brain scans, helping football players that have concussions get better. And my son and I both went. And it did help. I found out that I had a frontal lobe that had no blood flow, a back of the brain amygdala that was filled with blood, meaning that I was in constant PTSD 24 hours a day. But I got no help. So I spent tens of thousands to get better. I did NAD infusions, I did IVs, I did hyperbaric oxygen, I did ozone therapy. I did everything that I could research around the world, and it was during COVID. So that made it even more difficult. But what I did get involved with was a dear friend that helped me with NAD infusions, which can help the brain rewire. But then about 6 months ago, I was introduced to a new patented patch that was researched by a gentleman by the name of David Schmidt. And David Schmidt is a researcher. His grandfather is very famous, who has hundreds of patents. One of those patents still uses something he discovered, and it's used in one of the phones today. So he was raised under a grandfather that taught him how to be an engineer, how to research, and how to look at Einstein and all the things that he had discovered. And over the last 22 years, he worked for the Navy SEALs. And during that time, he spent his time as an engineer and doing engines and that kind of stuff. But his real love was understanding the inside of our cells. And I'm sure some of you have heard about mitochondria and have heard about telomeres and have heard about stem cells. Those three things are the entire core of anti-aging today, on top of the nutrition that we already do. And I just went through a 10-week course with Moselle, Heal Thyself Detroit, and it was all about telomeres, the entire 10-week program. And I have to state before I do the next couple minutes is that I am new to all of this. I know nothing, very little, even though I'm a laboratory scientist. I've drawn blood. I've worked with stem cells 20 years ago. I really am a novice. So I just want to share with you what it did for me. I am here today because of the patch that I am wearing. And David Schmidt started researching light waves. And I just listened to a speech of his on Saturday. And basically what all the research is showing is that our entire body is communicated through electromagnetic frequencies. We all know we have positive charges, negative charges. If we are in the positive charge, our body is acid. We know this from nutrition, that we are going to get sick. We have to keep the body alkaline. We have to keep the body into it, what we call a negative charge on our cells. So when we do that, we have foods, we have light waves, we do infrared saunas, we lay in the sun. This is nothing different than that. When we lay in the sun, we make vitamin D. When we do an infrared sauna, it goes deep into our cells, right? And our cells become a negative charge. They get rid of toxins. They start healing the mitochondria. They start healing the telomere, just like the foods that we're eating, that you guys are eating tonight. So David Schmidt began researching light waves. And everyone knew around the world that our stem cells, we are born with red cells, white cells, bone cells, brain cells, heart cells. Why is it When we're young and we are injured, we can get better. We can get through pain. We can heal a broken arm. We can stand up rejuvenated. But I'm now 70 and I got sick 7 years ago and I didn't understand why. Why could my husband be cured, my ex-husband, but why could I not cure myself? Why could God not lead me? And the only thing that got me through were friends like Cricket, Hiawatha, who I deeply, deeply am missing, and to be grateful, but yet to know that somehow I would be led to something. I was either going to go out in this life the way I was living, or I was going to get cured. And I've been cured. I got a friend that remembered me, that she herself had cancer at the age of 39. She's now 49. 10 years ago, she owned a very successful company. She did hair. She did mine for 20 years. She had breast cancer at 39. It totally affected her entire life. She developed, as many of us know, she developed neuropathy of her feet. She could no longer walk. She couldn't drive. She lost her business. Her life was pretty difficult, and I watched it. She gave me a call and she said, Linda, I've been wearing this patch that has totally affected my whole life. I'm walking a mile 3 times a day. I can wear shoes now. I drive. I have rehabbed my home. And I was like, Angie, how could I not know this? So I drove 2 hours to see her. And sure enough, she was a different person. I said, that's it. Whatever I need to do, I want to try this. I do have to share that this does not happen to everybody. There are people in this room, I have friends taking this, that may not feel anything. And the reason is because this, and for me though, the life was changed within a day. The first day I put it on, you wear it 12 hours. It's like laying in the sun. We develop vitamin D. This patch, he figured out, has nothing more on it than organic crystals. He doesn't just have a stem cell patch, which is brand new. He has 10 other patches. They're all for different reasons, and they were done for the Navy SEALs. One reduces pain. One rewires the neurotransmitters in the brain. One reduces cortisol. One gives energy. He also worked for the Olympians. He developed a patch specific for pain recovery, for muscle regeneration. If he could get an Olympian to increase their running time by 0.01 seconds, they could win the Olympics. That was his goal. So these patches all have different crystals, different amino acids on them that trigger, like sitting in infrared sauna, different parts of our body to be affected. So the very first moment, the minute I got up in the morning, I stood up. I didn't have to touch the wall. I walked to the bathroom. I walked down the steps. I didn't fall. I cried. I said, this can't be. It can't be. Since that day, I have no anxiety. I have no symptoms of PTSD. The Parkinson's that they wanted to diagnose me is 100% gone. I can't say that that will happen to you. What I can say is that these patches that were discovered by David Schmidt, what they do, they send light waves into our body. And the last patch is called the stem cell patch. And what it does, it sends specific light waves that activate our DNA. It activates 3,000 different DNA genes within 3 minutes. So what happens in our body is that we lose 10% of our stem cells every decade. So by the time I hit 60, I only have 35% left. Stem cells, why are they important? Stem cells go around our body and they become the organ that your body needs. My body needed the brain. My brain was not connecting to my body. All my MRIs showed cells, synapses and dendrites that were not connecting. They were all frayed. That happens with brain disease. That happens with Alzheimer's. So what happens is stem cells, when they're working and when we're young, they go to the part of your body. So think about where in your body you need help. For me, it was the brain. Some people, it's the heart. I have clients here that have cancer. Some people, it's the thyroid. I don't know where your stem cells, when they're activated and when your gene that's now turned off turns on, is going to be. Some people feel nothing for a day, a week, a month, 2 months. I don't know. All I can tell you is my story and the hundreds and thousands of people that have been affected, all the way from children that have ADHD, ADD, autism, parent stories to clients that have cancer, autoimmune, thyroid. They're all different. Their stories are different, but the biggest thing they find in the beginning is the stem cells increase energy. I have energy that I had 30 years ago. I'm now a grandmother for the first time at the age of 70. I'm living in California right now, 2 months with my baby granddaughter and my daughter and her family and my son. And I'm running up and down 4 flights of steps all day long. Mama, get me the bottle. Mama, help me change the diaper. Mama, help me give me a bath. Give the baby a bath. I am up and down. I could never have flown to California 6 months ago. I was in so much PTSD, I could never have even packed. So for me, this patch has changed my life. David Schmidt has over 130 patents. He has 80 scientific studies. He has researchers that work on a team all day long, looking for different life wave rays that are going to affect a different part of the body. The stem cell is the newest. There are 10 other patches. I wear about 6 of them every day. I wear one to rewire the brain, one to get rid of cortisol. Glutathione is increased 500%. I use an Energizer one. I use my stem cell. I use the X49 that they use for the Olympians. I sometimes don't use them at all anymore. I've been on them 6 months. I don't need to use them. I have 6 months of stem cells that have been regenerated. You can reverse aging 8.5 years only wearing these 3 months. Their research shows that you should wear them 1 month for every decade that we've lost 10%. At the end of 7 months, I will have increased all the ones that probably I can, but we are constantly affected by EMFs, 5G, bad food. I just heard a talk the other day that 80% of the air that we breathe has glyphosate in it. We are affected by everything around us. And so what the stem cell activation does is that it keeps our genes activated. It keeps our stem cells activated so that they can go through the body, get rid of free radicals, right? Keep us energized, keep us healthy, keep us going. They can go to the part of the body that's now being a little bit affected, right? It's not as healthy, and they can instantly get rid of the old cells, become the new cells. They become brain cells, they become heart cells, they become whatever your body will need. It's kind of like Young Living. All of us can use the oils. Each of them has a different impact on all of us, but they're healing. We know that. We know our nutrition is healing. So I just wanted to share what it's done for me. The company's called LifeWave. If you're at all interested, I'd be happy to talk to you if you want. I've been trying to research it now for only 5 months. Like I said, I'm not an expert. I have my own story and that of a number of friends. I just wanted to share it with you, and I'm grateful Cricket allowed me the chance to talk to you and to tell you how my life has changed. So thank you. And I'll have Cricket send out my email, my phone number, and a couple websites if you're interested in doing a lot of research.
Awesome. It looks like for some reason I got to be the host. She transferred it over to me
Thank you, Deb.
because all of a sudden I'm realizing Cricket's gone and I'm still,
Cricket's
and all of a sudden I'm the host.
Oh, no, you must have took her spot. That's okay.
I don't know what happened, but I'm like, all right. So, does anybody have any questions for you on this? Fran, you have to mute yourself.
Oh, okay. I think got to get Cricket back on.
I know, somehow
true.
I'll text her.
Do you know what's in the crystals, or is the crystals in every patch? Or
Yes, and every patch has completely different crystals that are all researched because every crystal gives a different vibration. We know crystals, right?
Right.
And we know that a diamond is completely different than an Amherst, whatever.
Yeah.
So they give different light waves. These light waves start at infrared and they go up in frequencies, but we all know the frequency of sleep, 528. So they go, so he has a patch that's specific for sleep. So I know that that's possibly a 528 hertz. So it's going to go into the body and cause, reduce, I don't know, cortisol, increase melatonin. So yeah, all the crystals, and it's also made, and I'm in the middle of researching this, it's also made of amino acids specific. So it's a very complex, it took 22 years to figure this out. And no one else in the world, this is patented for 20 years. It's only been around for 2, I think we're in a 3rd year now. And it's in
I'd heard of it. I'd heard
Yeah.
of it before, but I don't know anybody that's taken it. Do you know if it's helped anybody with like a bulging disc? I don't have that, but
I can tell you what I do have. I
Mhm.
was raised on a farm and I fell off my horse when I was 10. I got my foot caught in the stirrup and she dragged me 80 acres across a plowed field that had stones. So I had 3 spinal fractures in my neck, my C234. I've lived with terrible pain for 50 years. And I ended up going back. I go every 12 weeks to MSU, to Dr. Hanish. She's one of the top osteopaths. And I was driving from Grand Rapids to Lansing and I cry a lot. I was like, this is the first time in 8 years I don't need the appointment. I have absolutely no pain. So when I got to Dr. Hanish, she's like, Linda, you've never not been within severe pain. So he had me do a complete MRI. My nerves are no longer impinged and my bones are in complete alignment. So I can't answer, but there's a Telegram app with LifeWave and there are hundreds of thousands of people. You just go to what you're looking for and you will get up all the testimonials from around the world. Yeah.
What kind of symptoms did you have
Mhm.
with, you said the brain was always on PTSD. Do you know what that was from, or is
I
it just?
do. Absolutely, I do. Yeah, the Amen Clinic found that I had no blood flow in the front of my brain. All the blood flow was in the back, the amygdala, the fight flight part of the brain. I don't want to go into my childhood. I was raised on a farm. I was up every day at 4:30 milking cows. I had a pretty tough childhood. And none of that matters. What matters is that what they found out, my son's brain and my brain scan, they called us on the phone and asked us to both be on the same call with Dr. Amen's psychiatrist. And she said, your brain scans are literally 90% identical. My son did not have the same childhood. They are doing research right now to prove that our brains inherit 7 generations back. There is no question I probably have my father's brain, and my daughter did not get it, but my son did. that his brain scan had the exact same diamond shape, another part, and this part's of the brain, the back, the front. There's a whole lot of things that cause our brains to be the way
I
they
think
are.
I think I heard, there's a book about that
Yeah,
too. Like
yeah,
I
it's
did,
great.
I didn't do this or something like that, meaning it's generational. Yeah,
It
that's
can be,
cool.
it can be. I know, it's all new
Mhm.
research going on right now. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
great. It's fun.
That's good. I just know I have tons of trauma from a lot of stuff. So, but it's, yeah, no fun.
I know, it is no fun, and we have to just pray that we get led to something, you know. I also do EFT tapping for trauma. You know, I've got a trauma person that's very experienced in Ann Arbor, if you're interested, that has helped tremendously.
Mm.
It gets housed in our muscles, in our bones, in our heart, in our lungs, in our body. And it's
Yeah.
very difficult to get out. Yeah,
Yeah. Wow.
I do understand though.
It's
yeah,
hard to be with people.
This at least helped me rewire, thank God, the brain.
Yeah, that's pretty
That
amazing.
is amazing, actually. I was blown away because I had no idea what you've been going through.
Yeah, I know Cricket did, Hiawatha did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
That is wow. And I know there's so much new technology like this stuff out there because I've heard of all three of those. But
Mhm.
combined with crystals, wow.
Mhm.
And I'm sure, are you using the essential oils along with that
Yeah.
then?
Oh, yeah, I have for 20 years. Yeah.
So what are you using along with this to help this? May I
I
ask?
use all, you know, I reached a point where I've got probably 100 and some oils, and I just went to an intuitive. I close my eyes, put on my meditation music, and I just start reaching. And I pull 6 or 20 or 10, and I just start putting them on, and I just let the body accept what's needed.
Yeah, that
What
is
I-
beautiful and perfect.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's what I was always told when I was doing massage therapy. It doesn't matter what you're grabbing. I just would go and grab and put it on. It was
Yeah.
the spirit is always leading you.
I
That is
know it does.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, is
fun.
Sue R wanting to speak or have any questions? You've been muted a bit too, so I thought I'd ask. I'm thinking this, I know
I-
Sue, but I'm not sure. I'm just trying to help Cricket out because I just talked to her. She's trying to get back on the
Oh,
Zoom.
okay.
No
Okay.
questions, no questions, just listening.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, but if any of you are interested, I'd be happy to give you my phone number and my email if you're interested. My phone number is 517-204-6823. So it's 517-204-6823. And my email is Stewart, STEWART, Linda, LINDA, Lou, LOU, StewartLindaLou@gmail.com. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. I am a grandmother now, so I'm with the baby. And my daughter, I'm with her right now. My daughter is very researched in EMFs, and she has a home that is literally 90% EMF safe. So we don't get a lot of Wi-Fi here.
Cool. That's probably the best treatment.
So my phone doesn't
Right?
always work. Yeah, yeah.
I think Cricket's back.
Oh, yay!
Yep.
So
Hope
she'll
you're
have to
back.
watch the replay. Oh, no.
Yeah,
That's
we're
okay.
back, but I'll send out the replay link. So thank
Cool.
you. So
Well, there's a lot of
so
beautiful
does
faces
anyone
in
here
that
have a
room.
question?
Yeah, I was just wondering how you decide which of the crystals to use.
Which
Could
of
you
the-
hear that, Linda?
Yeah, which of the crystals?
Which of the patch, which patch, how do you decide which patch to use?
Oh, no, if you call me and you tell me what you're looking for, I'm also a nutritionist as well as a chemist and laboratory science. So together, all I need to know is your symptoms. I'm not medical, but I can give you ID. I can share with you what every single patch does. It doesn't solve everything, but with 11 or 12 to pick from, we can usually figure out a couple to try. I use the word try. I always recommend X39 because that's the big gun. That's the new one. That's a stem cell activation. Because your stem cells, but I had just recently, a lady that does EFT in Ann Arbor. Her husband has suffered with bipolar his entire life. She's doing the stem cell, but he did not want to. So we put her on what's called Nirvana. So Nirvana rewires serotonin, dopamine, and the neurotransmitters. 24 hours later, his whole life has changed. It's only been maybe 4 weeks. She cries. He's in his 60s. So right now, that's the only thing they're on. Just the Nirvana, which is a brain one. Yeah. And
Was
it
he?
elevates mood, it increases serotonin, dopamine. And so that's interesting. That's the first time that happened.
Well, is
Yeah.
there an interaction with medicines? Because you mentioned
No.
before about.
The only 2 times, absolutely not, because these are light waves. So it doesn't, it's like whatever medicine you're on, we can lay in the sun and we can do an infrared sauna. It's identical to that. So there's absolutely no interference whatsoever. I do hesitate when a person is getting a chemotherapy session because I don't want stem cells, they say. And also I was going to be my future daughter-in-law. I had kidney transplant 3 years ago. She's only 34. She's on 19 anti-rejection medicines. I can recommend all 9 of the others, but not the stem cell. Yeah, those are the only 2 contraindications.
I don't know what that last.
So Linda, contraindications.
Yeah, well, reasons you shouldn't do something
Yeah,
where there's.
she just didn't hear what you said.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Linda, will you give your phone number if people want to call you?
Yes, I think I'll do it again. 517-204-6823. And my email, I gave it to you, stuartlindalou@gmail. And Cricket, if you don't mind, I think I sent you, but we have 2 amazing websites and then 2 Facebook channels that maybe if you could send to everybody, they can do some of their own research, a lot of their own research.
Yeah. So LifeWave, we didn't hear them. We were gone during that. So lifewave.com.
Yep.
is
And the other one,
one.
yep, and StartX39.com.
Startx39.com.
Yep, that will tell you about the stem cells, lifewave.com. And then there's 2 YouTube channels. One is called
YouTube or Facebook?
YouTube.
YouTube, okay.
So one is called LifeWave Health. Capital L, capital W, capital H. And then the other YouTube channel is David Schmidt. Highly recommend. The last 2 weeks, he has done 2 seminars all about light waves, electromagnetic frequencies in the body, positive, negative charges, how he started this, 22 years of research, and finally it's helping people. Yeah. So David Schmidt, SCHMIDT.
SCHMIDT.
Those are 2 big ones.
Yeah, I think I know those, so I can put them in the link when I send the replay. So
Can you ask her to give me your phone number again?
517-204. What was the rest of it?
6823.
6823. Okay, cool. So no other questions?
Let's see.
Thank you
Okay.
all for coming.
Just a second. Carlotta's thinking of a question.
You mentioned it's like laying the sun or going into an infrared.
Yes.
So what's the comparison again? I mean,
Light waves. It's all about light. Yeah, it's all about, yeah. It's all
multiplied
about,
by?
She compared it to that because it's all light waves. So the patch puts in a light wave. It's not like this is concentrated sunshine. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not directly comparable. It's just they're both light waves. Yeah.
Similar product,
so
but
it's,
they don't make up for each other.
they don't what? I'm sorry.
I mean, sitting laying in the sun and doing infrared sauna, does that make up for not having a patch in some way?
No, 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 no. They're completely different, but they work the same way. You're correct. So when we lay in the sun, it causes our body to make vitamin D and to get tan. When we go to an infrared sauna, if you've ever been in one, you get all steamed and hot, but the infrared is a frequency that causes the inside of the cell to start detoxing and then starts healing the mitochondria, the telomeres. So on each patch, you have crystals. When I put the patch on my neck where they've done the research, the warmth of my body makes the crystals radiate light waves into your body that then turn on genes that are turned off, and then that activates a copper peptide, which causes stem cells that are no longer active in our body. They never leave. They're just not active anymore based on our age. 10% we lose, causes stem cells to literally come back to life and be able to circulate in our body. That's how that
Okay.
works.
Well, you said you dealt, you worked with, you connected with Hiawatha while she was alive, and she
Yes.
was in this New Earth microalgae.
Yes,
So have you compared the microalgae process to this?
yes, yes,
Because that's talking
absolutely.
about stem cells too.
Absolutely. I lived with Hiawatha. This brings up a really hard subject. Hiawatha asked me to move in with her the last 7 months of her life. And so I would drive between Grand Rapids and Lansing and stayed with her 5 days a week. And would get all her raw foods, and we would start the day doing celery juice. And so all day she did her raw foods. We did her raw foods. We made her smoothies. She would answer the phone, whoever called. If she didn't know an answer, she would research. So I can share with you about Hiawatha. Hiawatha wore the patch. The first day she had more energy than she's had in 20 years. Her pain was gone. She could stand up. She could stand up straight. She said, I've had more energy than I've had in 20 years, Linda. And she never went a day not wearing the patch. So what happened was I came to California. I had a baby, grandbaby, and there was nobody at the home to put the patch on Hiawatha. But Hiawatha was not doing well. I could tell she was getting tired. So we talked about the microgreen algae. She was using the microgreen algae, but it was and I believe in that. I believe in nutrition, absolutely. But it was the patch that gave her within 24 hours, the energy and the reduction in pain. Hiawatha suffered from shingles for 3 years. She went to Dr. Messenger, but she refused to use steroids. So for 3 years, like she would wake up at night crying, and I'd have to get up and wrap her. And we would put on things so that the pain could go away. So after 3 months of wearing the patch, she decided one morning to put the patch no longer on the back of her neck. She put it right above her hip. So her pain went from her hip to her knee. The pain was completely gone. She said, Linda, I don't dare take this patch off. And I said, Hiawatha, we can only wear it 12 hours. We have to let the body reactivate. We have to let it balance. We're going to be okay. So I gave her 3 other patches, reduced cortisol, calmed her down. She wore that patch above her hip for the next month. Then when I left, there was nobody to put the patch on her, and she became really lacking in energy. And I believe that when we're supposed to leave this plane, that's our time. There's nothing that we can do. But when I came back a month later, thank God, Phil had come and Cricket, and they had to take her to the hospital because her sodium was so low. And most people would have died at the low sodium. And so there was 14-day period where people brought raw foods, but that's her experience with the stem cells. I could not put that patch on her once she hit the hospital. I'm a med tech. I'm a 5-year nurse. I had to let medical take care of her. The only thing we could do was bring raw foods to her.
Thank you.
So that-
Yeah, because I talked with her like a few days after she got to the hospital, and she just sounded really energetic and alert. But she
Yeah.
did say, don't come visit me right now, or because I'm, it'll be too tiring to have too many visitors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll talk a little bit more about that offline.
Thank you, Linda.
So
Any-
Linda,
Energy,
excuse me,
yeah.
do you plan on wearing that patch the rest of your life?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
I can now go. At first, I couldn't even go a day or two because my symptoms would start and people were like, well, you've got to wear it. So I've worn it now. I'm in my 6th month. I've just gone 5 days now, not wearing it. None of my symptoms are back. I've got enough stem cells in my body, but I will never, never not use this because we're constantly affected by environment, EMFs and all kinds of things. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anybody else?
Thank you, Linda.
Thank you so much, Linda.
Thank you, Linda.
Appreciate you coming on.
yeah, thank you, Julie.
Yeah. Good
Bye.
night, everybody.
Well, thank you. Bye.
Bye, Deborah. Bye,
Good
Fran.
night. Good night. Thank you.